I don't know what it is about people who study dreams, but you either are good at studying dreams or you're good at technology, but not both. I don't know, maybe I'm the one exception. I mean, not to toot my own horn, but at least I can operate a Zoom session and a PowerPoint. I tell you, one of the most frustrating things is that nobody can figure out how to make a laptop work, and I don't know what it is. It's not that they're incredibly old. There's just, I think it accesses a different part of the brain. You're either like analytical, right, up here, all thinky, or you're really dream-oriented and very like touchy-feely, go with the emotions. But then again, even that like theory breaks down because these are scientists, like people who are analyzing things. But I don't know. These are the most interesting things I learned at the International Conference for the Study of Dreams. And if you stick around to the end of this video, I'll tell you the most wildly disturbing piece of research information that I found during the whole conference so far. But there were some really great presentations, but you had to get through some of the boring material to kind of get to this real meat of the data. So a couple things I want to share with you here, and I would love your feedback on them. Please put it in the comments, hit the subscribe button while you're down there. But number one thing is, I thought it was very interesting. There's a piece of research out there that says that divorced women who dream about the divorce were able to recover from the separation, the emotional turmoil, and really the life changes that happen afterwards better than those who didn't. And this is a study that's been around for a while. This is since 1984 is when this came out. So it's just interesting. And then on top of that, women who had dreams about threatening and violent situations, like painful situations while they were in their third trimester of pregnancy, were actually better able to deal with the pain of giving birth and had shorter delivery times. And this was after a lot of recorded dreams from people from their gynecologists. It was a very interesting study that happened. So now listen. We have to test why this happens. Like what is the relationship? Is this correlation or is this causation? Like if you dream about painful things, it helps you deal with the pain in your waking life better. But my personal theory is, and it's just a personal theory, so take it for its 2 cents that it's worth. If you're dreaming about painful things and you're processing some of that emotional content or difficult content while you're sleeping, it makes you better able and better prepared to deal with that when it comes up in your waking life. So it's kind of my theory of dream interpretation that I've used, and it's the reason that I focus so much on interpretation and symbols, because your mind is trying to rehearse for these threats. It's trying to rehearse for what it's going to go through in your waking life, and the current theories on dream research kind of support that. So anyways, interesting stuff. But there was also some good things that came out of this too. Dreams are probably way more important than we give them credit for. If you deprive someone of their dreams, you get them out of REM sleep, you actually will see an increase in anxiety, irritability, difficulty concentrating, and an increase in appetite. Isn't that strange? So if you're somebody who doesn't dream a lot, or maybe you struggle to really have good REM sleep, will this cause some difficulties with your diet, with your appetite suppression, with being able to control those hunger impulses because you're not getting that restorative type of sleep that you actually need? It was also, for me, because I do a lot of work in the mental health counseling field, it was really good to hear some people present on their experience of the trauma nightmare recovery sequence, right? Because I help people get over their nightmares and their dreams so that way they can feel better going to sleep, and that way they can process their trauma. And so the theory that I've kind of had is you'll see as a person evolves in their emotional maturity, in their emotional health, you'll see their dreams change too. And so someone actually presented like a sequence, a 4-point sequence for how you can notice where someone is on their trauma recovery journey. And they proposed, which I think I agree with, but they proposed that first, when you first have that traumatic sequence, you're going to have a lot of rehearsal type of nightmares. These are rehearsal of the event. You're seeing the dream mirror almost exactly the type of event that happened in your waking life. So if you had some kind of assault, you're going to see an assault inside of your dream, and your mind is rehearsing this. Now, theoretically for me, I think that's because your mind is trying to make sense of whatever the fuck just happened. It's like this is outside of the bounds of what we normally experience in our day-to-day life. And so, well, let's go over this again just to make sure that we didn't miss any important details. That's number one. The second thing is, as a person progresses through their trauma recovery, you'll start to see more creative elements enter into the dream. And this is like, you know, you have an assault situation, so you're dreaming about assault, but this time they're coming at you with a magical sword, right? Or maybe you have some kind of like superpowered titanium fists or something, right? So you start to see more creative elements. Maybe it was a dragon that is attacking you instead of the actual mugger who attacked you in that situation. And then number 3, you'll start to see more metaphorical processing. Maybe I jumped ahead. The dragon would be an example of metaphorical processing, but you start to get more and more further removed from the literal experience that happened in your waking life as the dream starts to process and integrate this. Now, you'll still feel a lot of emotional intensity, but you're going to start to see the content of the dream change. And when you see that change, it's a really good sign. And this is why on my social media channels, I talk so much about repetitive dreams. If you're experiencing the same type of nightmare over and over again, it's not a great sign. It's a sign that either your environment is staying exactly the same and you haven't made the changes that you need to, or your mind environment, right? Your internal experience of the world, your emotional processing is staying the same and it's not progressing either. So you kind of have to make sense, like, am I in a toxic environment and need to change? That's why I have recurring nightmares about this thing. Or is my internal environment, the way that I'm processing the world, like my own self-loathing, my shame, my guilt, my anxiety, my depression hasn't changed significantly, so I'm seeing repetitive content inside of my dreams as well. Now, the final step, number 4, is you'll see these things, you'll see these dreams return to normal dreaming. I mean, that's ultimately the goal, right? Is, you get through this traumatic event, your mind makes sense of what just happened, it integrates it into long-term memory, and then it's freed up to deal with whatever you're going through your day-to-day life, right? So you'll kind of go back to that normal dreaming. Now, not to say it won't come back, but it'll be just part of the integrated process of your regular dreaming. It might pop up when you have, I don't know, your boss yells at you, so you're reminded of that time somebody was physically aggressive with you. Things like that. That's gonna be the real process of that dream therapy, that nightmare resolution. But I told you I would tell you the most interesting fact at the end of this video. This blew my mind. I think it goes to show just how important this mission of dream interpretation and nightmare resolution is, and why we've made this channel Lyon Mental Health. Nightmare severity directly predicts suicidality. Little trigger warning there, maybe I'm late, but nightmare severity predicts suicidality. The more intense your nightmares are, the bigger the struggle with those nightmares are, the more likely and the more at risk somebody is to struggle with suicidal thoughts, suicidal tendencies, and ultimately to follow through with some of those thoughts and feelings. And that's huge. So by working with people through their nightmares and through their dreams, we're helping them in their waking life much more than we probably ever thought we were before. And so these dream interpretations, like these nightmare processing techniques that we're using, correlate directly with waking life health. And so it's no longer dreams are just nonsense. It's no longer dreams don't have any meaning. It's dreams directly relate to what you're going to experience in your waking life. And the more that we can work through that and help somebody through their nightmares and their dreams, the better they are going to be able to adapt and overcome and feel healthy and feel joy that they want to in their waking life. So that kind of blew my mind. Nightmare severity predicts suicidality. That's huge and not to be underestimated. I mean, maybe it's a little bit too full of myself to say we're saving lives here, but maybe with a little love and a little respect for someone's dream and listening to that narrative that their mind tells them while they sleep, there's a real opportunity there to help somebody in their waking life more than we ever thought possible before. Now, at the conference, they also talked about some of the limitations of dream research currently, and overwhelmingly, one of the biggest hurdles that dream researchers still have for dream research and sleep research is when you wake people up 15 times in the night, they get really pretty pissed with you. So one of the biggest limitations is that people get upset and they don't want to participate. So you'll wake them up every time they hit REM cycle. You get to the 3rd, 4th, 5th time in a night and they don't want to cooperate anymore. They're like, fucking let me sleep, dude, I'm tired. So overwhelmingly, participation is still, and people getting angry is one of the biggest problems and struggles that we have inside of dream research. I would say probably the second one is, as it is with everything, funding. Funding is really difficult. People are very excited. It makes headline news when you find a cancer cure, when you find, something to help with children and their ailments. Dream research isn't as flashy. As far as the conference itself, it's absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna turn down the exposure here for a second and let you see, just look at how beautiful the landscape is, man. It's incredible. And the hotel, I'll probably splice in some pictures right about here. The hotel is straight out of The Shining. I don't know who or what psychopath designed this hotel, but it's winding, it's weird, and I've just been having the best time photographing the most liminal spaces at this place because there's no shortage of them. They're all over the place and it's nuts. So tell me your favorite one. If you haven't joined the Discord, I'm posting all the liminal photos there. I'll show just a couple of my favorites here and there. They're all over the thumbnails of these videos. So check them out, see what you think, and I'll catch you in the next video. And see you later. Bye.